Jets mandatory minicamp is officially underway. I've got 5 storylines to keep an eye on. Jets! All right, gang, welcome in. I want to talk about 5 storylines for the New York Jets heading into mandatory minicamp. We got 3 days of practice before we hit the longer part of the offseason before training camp gets underway. So I want to take a look at this, but before we hop into it, I do want to say we're doing our ticket group buy. Jets Steelers week 1. We're going on the field post game, tailgate with Tailgate Joe. Oh, this is like, this is our 3rd or 4th year doing this stuff now. It is so much fun. So much fun each and every year. So if you guys want to head over to talkingjets.com, we have our tickets on sale now. Only a limited quantity for the game. If you can't make it to the game on week 1 and you want to hang out with us down the shore, we've got our tickets for Bayzara, which we will be doing a live show and hang out for at the Bayzara Music Festival the Saturday prior to week 1. So tickets down below in the description. But let's hop into the 5 topics of today. First up, Justin Fields. How does his progression in this offense continue to grow? We saw him through 3 weeks of voluntary camp, but like, what are you going to gain, right? Like we saw what was it, day 1 or day 2 of the training camp or of the mini camps, voluntary workouts. All these names start blending together, where they had 3 completions in 10 offensive snaps or something like that. So there's going to be a focal point, obviously, on the starting quarterback. Big storyline week 1, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields, revenge game sort of vibes and whatnot. So how does Justin Fields progress through the course of this part of the offseason? And for me, I'm just looking at checking boxes. I'm not going to overhype anything that he's doing in particular, but I just want to see no negatives, right? Or limited negatives. I want to see growth. Because in my mind, when I see, oh, the defense got 6 sacks this week, I'm thinking, well, the offensive line gave up 6 sacks. I'm not really thinking like the defense really did something great. It's a weird way to look at it, and I'm sure other people have different stances on that. But I just want to see us check some boxes and Justin Fields continue to grow and continue to command this offense. He's in a quote-unquote quarterback battle, but he's going to be quarterback 1. Jets even put it out on their social media, QB1 with Justin Fields and whatnot. So big thing to keep an eye on. Number 2, practice intensity. How does this start to look, and how do the Jets attack the offseason? Because under Robert Saleh and Ulbrich and Hackett, those guys really wanted to dial back the veterans, try to keep them healthy and like coddle them throughout the course of the offseason. We didn't see them in like virtually any offseason or any preseason games or anything like that. So how does that change? We've heard terms like explosiveness and attention to details and all that sort of stuff. And those are big critical areas that I want to continue to see. I don't want to hear we're getting penalties left, right, and sideways. The hidden penalty yardage that we got the last few years has been bonkers. I want to see a little bit more of a clamp down on that. I want to see some understanding, and I want to see some guys flying open. I want to see some clips where I'm just like off the edge of my seat. Jets, hype me up. I want to see those clips. Next up, I want to talk about rookie standouts. How do our rookies look? This is guys from Membu starting at right tackle, Mason Taylor at tight end, some of the other guys throughout the course of the draft, guys like the safety from Alabama and the Arian Smith, the wide receiver from Georgia, that everyone was like losing their mind over, that we drafted, maybe a little bit higher than we should have. He was catching a lot of passes during the voluntary portion. Will that continue? I want to see, again, more check boxes. I want to see no drop balls. Once the pads come on, then I think we'll get a little bit more detail. But those are kind of the guys that I'm taking a look at. I really like A.Z. Thomas. I think there's a dark horse potential for him to be starting corner at the end of the season. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how all these guys grow and see which guys could potentially stand out from this class. Number 4, wide receiver 2. Who is our wide receiver 2 right now? You got Garrett Wilson. You got the tight end room. You got the running backs. We don't really know what's going on with wide receivers. Allen Lazard kind of checks in at wide receiver 2 because he's been here, but with the restructured contract, does he wind up potentially getting traded at some point? It seems like he wants to be a New York Jet, or at least he said sort of those things prior to Aaron Rodgers signing in Pittsburgh. So does he wind up filling that wide receiver 2 spot? I think his blocking ability is going to be very, very big time for the New York Jets. And in my opinion, I think wide receiver 2 is going to be more of a wide receiver 2 by committee. And by that, there's going to be certain attributes that we need during certain plays. And Justin Fields doesn't really utilize wide receiver 2 a crazy ton, but the rest of the offense can benefit from a wide receiver 2's traits and attributes. Allen Lazard, really good at blocking. Arian Smith can take the top off of a defense. Malachi Corley is a gadget player, can absolutely twist you up in pretzels, going in motion across the formation and whatnot. So there's little things that you can kind of keep an eye on how the Jets try to utilize some of these little pieces here. But is there going to be a guy, maybe like a Josh Reynolds, who has played in this Detroit-esque offense in the past? Does he become wide receiver 2? So I'm going to be keeping my eye on that. Who gets to see, more snaps or whatever. And then number 5, I'm looking at our edge rusher depth, because outside of Will McDonald, you got Jermaine Johnson coming back from a serious Achilles injury. I'm hoping he's going to be 100%, really, honestly, by the end of the year. I mean, if he's anything, close to what he was prior to the injury in season, I think that is a home run win. But you got those two guys, and then outside of that, everything else is kind of up in the air. I think Michael Clemens is probably a bubble player for a lot of people. The contract is also something that you could save a little bit of money on, so I think people will be keeping an eye on him. Eric Watts, Tyler Barron, who the Jets drafted. You got Rashad Weaver. Few guys fighting it out for those edge rusher positions who can set themselves apart. Guys that can be edge setters and guys that can really bear down on the quarterback. And how does this defense start to look? We had a lot of issues stopping the run last year. Does the defense overall really start to gel? Obviously no CJ Mosley this year. So just a lot of interesting question marks. And it's really cool because it's an evaluation part of the offseason, and really this whole year is kind of going to be, let's figure it all out as we go. But I want to hear from you. What are your top 5 storylines that you're taking a look at over the course of this 3-day stretch of minicamp? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, go Jets.
Jets!